Wow, I don't know about you, but I can certainly feel the energy in the room. There's a definite buzz, and isn't it amazing just to be in a room together? Here we are having good food. How was that food? Wasn't it good? Isn't it good? And conversation, and we are laughing and smiling and just in one space together. And I have to say that for me, I will not take something like that for granted ever again. I actually just won't take for granted being able to be in a room with someone and just spending some quality time together. So my name is Deirdre Davids, and I have the immense privilege of being a part of the Cape Town Tourism Board. And I also have the huge privilege of chairing the Tourism Marketing Committee. And I have to say that I am unashamedly biased towards the Cape Town tourism team. I totally am. I'm just declaring it. I'm putting it out there because I think that there is a bunch of amazing people doing some extraordinary work and just doing it silently so. Just getting on with the job of keeping Cape Town top of mind. And today, while I have the platform, I actually just want to commend the team for that and for everybody who plays a role within Cape Town tourism in doing so. And if you know Enver, you will know that he is a CEO who genuinely cares. Not sure if you guys are afraid with the program that Cape Town Tourism has also put out from a wellness perspective. Please, if you don't know about it, grab anyone in the team and just ask us about it. We are doing some amazing work in terms of being able to give our members access to wellness programs. And that's Enver. That's Enver who has been banging the table and saying, it's been so hard for our members, it's been so tough. Yes, we are a marketing entity, but what else can we do for them? And he doesn't get sidetracked by noise. So when things are happening, he holds the course and he holds the focus. And that kind of leadership filters down into the organization. And so what we are here to showcase today is the outcome of what I think has been a long journey. We all know that the past 24 months have been extremely difficult. I don't think that there's anyone in the room that hasn't been affected by COVID-19. And I think also just to say to any of you who might have lost loved ones during this time, my deepest condolences for that loss. Life has changed, and I think for some of us, life might have changed in drastic ways. But here we are, seeing signs of recovery. And as I was saying around this international marketing campaign that the team is going to present today, it is a culmination of what has been a journey. It leans on our tourism bounce back recovery strategy, which really has been the compass for the team during this time. And we know that, or for me, what really impresses me about what is going to be presented today is how everything is built on data. So everything that you see has been shaped and influenced by destination intelligence, by traveler insights. So real-time traveler insights has shaped and helped to develop this integrated marketing campaign. And I'm sure Lee will say it when she presents, this is just not a marketing campaign. This is a fully fledged, integrated approach to how we should be doing things to make sure that we keep Cape Town top of mind. And boy, isn't it generally competitive to keep our destination and your product top of mind. It's generally a difficult job. And I would argue and say more so as the traveler gets to choose where they will go and what they will do. And what the team is going to present to you is certainly something that I think is going to make sure that we stand out and that we stand tall. And while the focus is about attracting and drawing the visitor to our shores, and especially the international visitor, they're not just stopping there. Lisa is always banging on the table and saying, this is the feedback that I'm getting from members. They appreciate that we are marketing Cape Town, but how do we deliver a member proposition to them? And everyone having put their heads together, the outcome is what you will see today. An in-market member opportunity, so that when the traveler chooses their travel experiences in Cape Town, we want them to choose from our member offerings. And we hope that as you look at this today, you will look at it through that lens and you will consider how you can potentially tap into this. Be creative and have fun with it, because that is really the space we need to be in if we want to attract the visitor. We've structured a presentation. I'm going to hand over to Lee, who will take you through the first portion of the presentation, after which Lisa will come and share with you. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Deirdre. Yes, it's so great to finally be here, and I think that Find Your Freedom has been in the making for about 1.5 years, and just to be able to get things moving and get things rolling is really exciting for us. So I think that the most important thing, and we're going to be going through a little bit of strategy in the beginning, just to show you how we approach destination marketing, is that it's not just a marketing campaign. There are many different touch points along the journey. And it's the mixture between destination marketing and destination management which creates a holistic experience for the visitor. And what do I mean by that? So we have to have our research and our intel and our insights to inform us of what we're going to do, which markets are we going to go into, who are we going to aim at, and what do they like, what are their affinities. Then we need to prepare for that market. We need to make sure that we understand the market, we have partnerships in the market, we know how to actually get to our end consumer by what we market, by our actual marketing. And then we need to make sure that we speak to them in a way that actually attracts them to our city. So what are our USPs, and what is our relevant products that we use to draw them here? Then there's a very important part with our visitor services, concierges, if you're a waitress, whoever interacts with the visitor, you are an ambassador for Cape Town. And there's a very important part here, because that is the experience that you have every day face to face with someone. Then you get to marketing. So this is the marketing campaign, this is the side of things. And then the visitor experience, which is most probably the most important part. It doesn't matter how you get here, it doesn't matter if your visa was hard to get or your plane ride was 33 hours. If you have a good experience in Cape Town, almost all is forgiven. So just to reiterate, the strategy is informed by intel and insights. We are going for Germany, the UK, and the US, getting our core markets, which is the high volume, high value visitor back to Cape Town. We're looking at the target audience of affluent millennials, and we are going with the affinities of nature, adventure, culture, and culinary. These have been all researched. We have had in-market focus groups, and this is what the data tells us. Then from a source market preparedness side of things, we've been chatting to, I'd say, over 100 people, whether the people in SAT in-market offices, our media and trade partners in the US, UK, and Germany. We're looking at DMO city-to-city cooperations like we had with New York and Company, and also Visit Berlin, looking at Germany. And then we've gone into a new space this year, brand partnerships, because brand partnerships can provide us a huge opportunity, both in terms of brand affinity and access to new audiences. So in the first half of this year, we are going to be partnering with GoPro and GoPro Global, and we're going to be accessing our messaging through their audiences on a global level, which is very exciting. And as I said, everything that we've done and everything you're going to see, whether it's the channels that we use to get our messages out, whether it's who we partner with, are creative, and that was quite a scary thing. It's gone through the focus groups, and the feedback has come back. We've adapted, and we have built our plans, and we have built our communications on what we hear is going to have the most impact. We just don't do something pretty, send it out there and hope for the best. So the destination management side of things, as I said, this is unbelievably important. It's actually what are those USPs that are going to resonate with our target market. And content creation seems like this really, really small thing, and today you're going to see a video. Actually, you're going to see a trailer of a video. But our audiences, number one, it's over 3 markets, which have all their 3 different nuances. Then you've got your visitors, your trade, your media, your partner, and your partner campaigns. So you actually have to take your communication and say pretty much the same thing, but in a whole lot of different ways that resonates with those audiences. So the content creation is a very important part of what we do. Members first, obviously, and safety, always part of what we do and always filters in every single angle. And then, as I said, just in terms of our in-market and our local people in the tourism industry, knowing our destination narrative, being an ambassador for Cape Town is just magic, and we would love that to get stronger and stronger. So from a destination marketing perspective, for an affluent millennial, we're going to have high in social engagement. We've got our GoPro partnership. We're doing a conversion campaign to drive bookings with Expedia, with accommodation and flights. And we're going to have targeted trade and media hostings with the likes of the Telegraph, Condé Nast, the Wall Street Journal. We've got very good relationships with these guys, and we're very excited to get them on board. Most of them have said, we come in here for hosting, but we actually want to collect content at the same time. So I think we're going to have really, really nice videography and photography through these beautiful media partners that package them in their own specific ways. We have specific in-market PR agencies in the UK and in Germany, and these guys are there so they can take our message and help us adapt it to the audience. And like we have a media database nationally, and when we want to do something domestically and nationally, we send out our press releases through our media databases. They have their own media databases. So they're going to take our message in, adapt it, translate it, and send it out to their media databases. And we'll also have a launch in those markets as well. And then we've got our trade shows, which we can rely on, and we can build the message out there. And we also have an online trade training platform. And interestingly enough, we're going to have a competition, and then we're going to bring 20 of these guys out here for a hosting. And 2 days ago, we found out that the Cape Town Trade Training is in the top 3 of the UK courses taken, and the Cape Town Trade Training is the top course in the US that people are taking to train. So we're out there, we're still top of mind, and that's great to know, because you never know whether marketing has been, and it's taken a very different form over this COVID time with no visitors in market. You never know if you just suddenly drop off the mindset of travelers, but we haven't. We're still there. We're still winning accolades. We're still, we're still the world's best events and festival destination after 2 years when we've had none. But we'll take it. And the best city in the Middle East and Africa. So we're there, and that shows you the strength of the brand. And finally, in destination, TravelWise is of utmost importance. We've got our virtual concierge. We've got our Normala safety app, like a panic button if you're in market. We've got online chats. We've got a number of videos. Our teams are trained up. We also going to have our visitor information centers and our roaming. You might have seen what we call Tundo, outside, set up outside, but that's our roaming visitor information center. And we're going to do showcases and activations, and you're going to be able to interact with the campaign online with iPads. And at the end of the day, Yes, this is an international campaign as such, and we are targeting the paid-for media to international audiences, but it's going to be out domestically and locally, and everyone will be able to interact and enjoy the campaign. And then the cycle moves around. So whilst our visitors are in market, then we can learn new things. So what are they about their affinities? What are they enjoying? What can we do to optimize our marketing activity? And then we always track our effectiveness and impact, and what is working, what is not working, and where can we improve. So I hope I haven't bored you too much with that strategic part of things. This is the big buckets of activity. We are going to do what we call a soft launch, but actually it's a seed-in on the 10th of March. And that is when you're going to start seeing the creative assets through our digital channels. And on the 23rd, we're going to do the big launch. And this is when we're going to launch TikTok, we're going to launch our conversion campaign, we're going to launch it at the VECs, we'll do a press release round table, what we usually do and all of that stuff, to start driving the campaign really, really hard. Our GoPro partnership kicks in April, and then we've got trade and media partnerships and hostings. And those are great because when we get trade and media in market and we get to show them Cape Town, it starts off with the hosting, but generally they build and grow and they end up with bigger partnerships and bigger content shares and bigger opportunities to get the word out there. So this is, this is what we are looking at in a 6-month timeline. It doesn't mean that this campaign is going to last 6 months. The campaign will last at least a year, if not 2 or 3. Find Your Freedom can be built and grown and experienced in many different ways. So I don't know if it's such a good example, but if you look at Johnny Walker, Keep Walking, how long the Keep Walking campaign has gone. Fresh off the press from yesterday, this is, we have a safety video which goes around to a number of establishments and follows a girl in terms of, so if you arrive in South Africa in Cape Town, what will my experience be? So then we go and we show her getting her baggage, and we show her getting an Uber, and we show her going to a hotel. So we've got that type of experience, which is, you're welcome to use it. It's there for all. So if someone really wants to get an idea of what is my journey going to be like actually in Cape Town when it comes to a protection and COVID protection perspective, that is sitting there for you to use. This is another video that we've done very recently, and you are going to be the first to see it.
Well, I've definitely done a lot of drinking wine in the winelands. We've been swimming in Llandudno. It feels like you're in another world. It's incredible.
We renewed our vows. Yeah, we did.
We had loads of great food. Yeah, enjoying life, the restaurants.
Yeah, we made a safari in Inverdoorn, so that was pretty cool.
The Cape Coast is amazing. It's just beautiful. It's kind of paradise on the other edge of the world. We did surfing. Oh, and I went diving. That was very great. And I saw like the seals.
So we were kayaking with dolphins. The day we got here, we climbed Lion's Head. We've done table mounting. We've done quite a lot, and to be able to do it and feel safe with COVID has been great. Yeah.
In the UK at the moment, it's a bit less strict. So actually, I felt safer here than I do actually in London.
I guess people adhere to them quite well. I guess even better than in the Netherlands. So it's, I mean, I've felt safe all the way. People wearing their masks. People sanitize their hands, so it's actually great.
There's such diversity here. There's no one crammed into one space. You can go to a million different beaches. You can go to a million different wine farms on your doorstep. There's amazing food. There's amazing wildlife restaurants. I would say, without a doubt, get here. It doesn't feel anything that's kind of risky at all. It feels amazing.
We're going to go into a little bit of a different space. It is so competitive out there. Even actually negotiating with the airlines has been pretty difficult because people are taking shorter trips, they're not really going to long-haul destinations, and you really need to stand out and give people completely a different experience and different reason to come to Cape Town. Tourism boards as such, we are really good at doing big vistas, you know, the waves and, you know, beautiful panoramics and Table Mountain and wine farms, and with really kind of emotive music, and that's lovely and there's a place for that. But we have chosen to do a more non-traditional tourism approach, and that is the reason is that we need to start moving with the generations, and we need to start marketing to these affluent millennials. And it's a very considered step change that we have made, and for very real reasons. Number one, that they are tech savvy, and we can get that awareness up. And we have been getting that awareness up whilst there's only been time to do it online. They embrace adventure and they want purposeful travel, and they actually want to go to new destinations. If you look at a few stats, on average they travel 4.3 times in a year, which is 3 times more than their grandparents, which is the baby boomers. 62% have not decided what their destination is when they start planning their trip. That's such an opportunity. They can easily be influenced by advertising. Great. They enjoy a great variety of travel, which Cape Town offers. Cape Town can offer relaxation, it can offer adventure. So there's a lot that we can offer the visitor. And they are looking for adventures. Almost 80% opt for unfamiliar destinations, and they rather travel by plane. So I think that gives you an idea of the size of the opportunity that I really don't feel that many, if any, tourism boards have started exploring as yet. Their marketing preferences: social media with authentic content, gamification, visual images, things which are fast, mobile first, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and it's got to be instantaneous. Right. So, I'm going to lead you into the slowly. Okay. I have 2 videos that I'd like to show you. Closer. I have 2 videos that I'd like to show you, just so you get an understanding of where our inspiration came from. I don't know if any of you know Bear Grylls or have gone on Netflix, and it's amazing. You go in there and you choose where he goes or what he does. So a choice-driven travel entertainment. And then there's this gamification side of things. So our inspiration is, which I'm going to take you through now, but we really want to get to a space of an Afrofuturistic mix of reality and gaming, and where you can choose your own adventure. Okay, first of all, there.
Oh, it's a bad situation here. Do I go up and face the mountain lion, or do I take my chances with the abyss? My adventure is up to you. It's a bold choice. I'm Bear Grylls, and I've spent my life showing you how to survive in some of the world's toughest terrains.
Together, you and I are gonna find our way back to civilization.
We've got 2 options of what to do here. Either step really tentatively or crawl like a seal. We go for the tunnel with the draft or the tunnel with the warm air. Do we follow the sound of the monkeys or do we climb the tree? You're in charge here. You're on this journey with me. You decide.
And if you don't make the right choices, it might not end well for me.
Go, 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 go! In you versus wild, whatever you say goes.
You decide. You decide. You decide! That's a whopper. So what's it gonna be? Eat it or leave it? You decide.
It's lots of fun. Go into Netflix and do it if you haven't done it before. The next one is about gaming. Just take a look at the people who are speaking in this video and look how it's also done in the format of a phone.
Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.
Okay, right, games for 2022. What are you excited about?
Currently, if it does come, Breath of the Wild 2, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, probably one of my favorite games of all time. It changed the game when the original Breath of the Wild came out, and I'm hoping this sequel does changes things in a similar way. I want to see open world games shift because of what they do in this one.
I just want answers.
And if those answers lead to war with Asgard?
I'm really looking forward to God of War Ragnarok, because I think those God of War games are fantastic. Not only do they look beautiful, they play so well. It is like being thrust into a film, into a fantasy, but it's just so incredible. And the storytelling's really amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that. And this one takes place 3 years after the last.
Now, Shay, what are you most excited about in 2022?
Horizon Forbidden West. I'm so excited. Horizon Zero Dawn I loved so much. Like, I feel like Breath of the Wild and Horizon came out at the same time, so there was a bit of like competition, but I just found myself like always reaching for it. The controls are so fluid. It's a really fun world to be in, and just like from the preview gameplays that we've seen of Horizon Forbidden West, like they've improved on it so much more. So I'm looking forward to being Aloy and like being in this world and taking down like dinosaur robots. It's such a cool looking game.
For me, Starfield.
Oh yeah.
Bethesda game. So they are the developers of Fallout and Skyrim. Amazing role-playing game creators. The first time that they've made a new intellectual property in gaming in this field for 25 years. So I am excited for that. Apparently, it's been described by the developers as NASA meets Indiana Jones. Sign me up. Thank you very much. Plenty of games coming in 2022. Fingers crossed that they do get released as we expect them to, but you never know, DUNL, because of the pandemic.
You never know, but I always say give the developers a bit of leeway. It's been a tough couple of years. So
the new consoles are becoming confident. People are used to making games for these new consoles, so expect some big things in 2022.
Here is a sneak peek. What I'm going to be showing to you is the trailer. So when I said the soft launch, we're going to be launching the trailer to just get a little bit of energy up there until we go do the hard launch 2 weeks later. We've worked on our 3 USPs, and we are tying in our African heritage and culture all the way through. And this is always underpinned by safety and good value. Good value from a domestic point of view from marketing is definitely more relevant, but it also plays a space with international marketing, but not as much. Ergo, safety plays a bigger role in international marketing other than affordability. So now for something completely different.
You're a searcher, a seeker. I can tell that just by looking at you. Choose the path of the nature warrior, the urban adventurer, or the fearless foodie. Go now and choose.
And you, South Africa.
Freedom awaits.
That was definitely the response I was hoping for. So that is just the trailer. How it's really going to work, the full video, it gets put into a platform. And what happens is that you go into the platform, you get a welcome by our African storyteller, and then you get your 3 guides, your nature warrior, your urban adventure, your fearless foodie. You can see that this relates to the affinities in the strategy that I first showed you. And these characters are amazing. So much thought has been put into them. The Fearless Foodie, there's a little salt and pepper shaker on his hip. Here, her little character is a drone, the urban adventurer. And the nature warrior, he has a surfboard as a shield. And just all the African designs and elements that comes into kitting them out. And these guys, they're each going to have a backstory. The backstory, it will be cultural. They're going to have names, and they're all going to have their own experiences. So you can have an itinerary and a route and experience what Storm does when he's on a day in Cape Town. So there's a lot of content that we can build around these characters. And that's actually, when it went into focus groups, they said we want to see more around the characters and what the characters do. So that was a tick. And then you choose one of your characters and you go through the path of your character. Now, because this is choice-driven travel entertainment, so say I'm the Fearless Foodie, I choose him and I click on him. Then I get, do you want to go for a coffee of truth or do you want to go foraging? And then you click on one and then you'll get taken to, that was a small experience of what it would be like having coffee in Cape Town.
Keep it poppin', everyone goes. And if you don't know, now you know.
So short, sharp, just little teasers that will really get you excited. the foraging.
Something magic inside my veins. La, 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 la. No matter what, I'ma do my thing, I'ma do my thing. Can you feel it?
And then I've just chosen that we have 18 of these experiences. So you have 3 guides, and then you can choose between 6 experiences out of each guide. Oh yes, and one other thing, don't take note of the music. We have our own music from a Cape Townian producer doing specific music, actually that's going to align with each of the characters and then to their experiences. So that is yet to come. So those are just 4 out of the 18 experiences you can do in Cape Town. I mean, your mind is blown when you see the other ones as well. These are the posters. We have looked at them and conducted them like video posters. And when I mean posters on your phone. And yeah, so I think that gives you a sneak peek. No, it's not all complete. The trailer is done, but the actual game itself, we're still piecing together and it will be ready by launch date. But we really wanted to give you a sneak peek and an insight into what we're doing at this stage, because things are moving really fast and the last thing we want is for it to launch and then suddenly you see it out there and you haven't seen it through us and you haven't had an opportunity to get involved, which is really our main aim today. So the last boring thing I'm going to take you through before I hand over to Lisa is the user journey. We want people to book, whether it's accommodation, experiences, or flights to Cape Town and in Cape Town. So everything we do leads us down the conversion funnel. We call it the path to conversion. We don't just want to put a video out there and how many people viewed the video. Yes, it is important how many people viewed the video, but actually how many people clicked on that book button, how many people downloaded that voucher, how many people bought their flight tickets. And we do this in a number of ways. So the trade is a more direct route. You have your trade, your airline, your OTA. In this case, we've got a number of trade partners, and our main airline OTA is Expedia, but that's just for the first conversion campaign. We'll be running a number of conversion campaigns, potentially one with United Airlines, potentially one with Lufthansa. It just depends at what stage and at when. Then they interact with the game and they have content features, and it's really direct to book flights and book accommodation. So quite a short, sharp route. The other points of entries that we have, so this is where people actually see the campaign, is through the media, through our partners and partner databases and partner social channels, and through our social channels, and the media depending on what they want to do. Then they are driven to play the game, and after the game, they have 3 options. You can play again. We want them to play again. Share with friends and stand the chance to win a holiday to Cape Town, and we're going to be doing really, really beautiful packaged holidays to Cape Town here, and then immediate travel deals and more. And that is really driving them to our website, which is one step closer to the Book Now buttons. So when it comes to the share with friends and be entered into the competition, there's one more step there before you get into immediate travel deals and more. You go to our website, and then there'll be 2 call to actions. One is Book Now with Expedia, and that, as you could see, that has a 3-month booking window. The travel window is longer, and then the member opportunity comes in here, because I was going to say something, but it's for you to say. So if I can welcome Lisa to take over. To take us through the member part of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Good morning, everyone. Lovely to see so many faces that I haven't seen in ages. So Cape Town's marketing strategies they've always been spectacular. They've always been exciting. And as you would have seen, this one is no different. The major difference in this strategy or this campaign is that there is a clear linkage to our members. So you'll be able to see the benefits, you'll be able to see the opportunities if you join the user journey. As Lee said, the campaign is based on research. And what the research has shown is that visitors book the experiences, they book the activities once they are in the destination. So even though the main aim of the strategy is to bring visitors to Cape Town, a second aim, but one which I think especially for the membership team and the industry services team, well, for CTT as a whole, the second objective is really to get visitors to members, and to create that platform that facilitates visitors, once they are in destination, booking those experiences with the members. And this is really where the opportunity for members comes in, and we encourage you to grasp it with both hands and become a CTT partner in the Find Your Freedom campaign. So what do we need from members? I'm sure that's what you're asking yourselves, and how does it work? We need very small experiential value adds that are valid from the 1st of April 2022 to the 30th of September 2022. We are not looking for big discounts. We know at this point in time, big discounts are just not possible. Price drops are just not possible. So small experiential value adds. What we're really looking at doing is to expand the visitor journey and improve the visitor experience and give an increased richness to this experience. We presented to our board yesterday, and Lee mentioned, I don't think she mentioned it this time around, she mentioned geographic spread, which is incredibly important. And I said for us as well, is the importance of inclusivity, which also adds to the richness of that experience. But inclusivity, richness of experience that doesn't come at a cost either to the visitor or to the member. And certainly we want our visitors to come back. The opportunity is open the opportunity to take up the experience is open to all visitors, so local, domestic, international. All they need to do is to download the e-voucher from our website, present it to the relevant member, and obviously it still needs to be within the valid time period, and they will be able to claim their deal. Okay, so what do we mean by smaller experiential value adds? And here this is just an example of what it could look like. We've taken artistic freedom here, so these are not actual vouchers from Juma or from Mzansi. So this is the content, an example of the content that will be written. You're standing on the world's largest table. Open space surrounds you. Fynbos fills the air. The cityscape floats beneath you, a misty sea. Your soul stirs. The hair rises on the back of your neck. This is your freedom. You found it. Choose your adventure. Climb the mountain. You deserve the free coffee at the top. Download your voucher. So that's just an example of the type of content that we will write. As Lee indicated, the deals that you put forward to us must fall within the 3 USPs. So they are, Lee, help me here, nature warrior, urban adventurer, and fearless foodie. So you can see we really are focusing on getting visitors to members, putting the members first, having a richness of experience, and getting them to come back after that experience. So what do you get as part of this campaign? You get an amazing marketing asset. So you get your voucher, obviously, that you're able to download. You can share on all of your digital platforms. You get a listing on Cape Town Tourism website under one of the Find Your Freedom guides, the one that you've specifically chosen. The e-voucher you can share on all of your marketing platforms, which means that there's greater exposure, there's greater visibility. It's not limited to our marketing alone. You will get a social post across all of our social media channels. And yes, it's entirely up to you to work with us to expand that marketing of the offering. This is the last slide, but this is very important. This is the information that we're going to need from you. Most of you, if not all of you, are very familiar with the membership email address, membership@capetown.travel. So if you have questions, or if you would like, there's something you'd like to submit, you would submit to that email address. Obviously, we need your business details, your contact details, what type of adventure experience are you wanting us to promote, your social hashtags, what is the actual deal, where does it fit in, which theme does it fit into, are you going to limit the number of deals that are going to be able to be downloaded, and then your 2 high-res images. We are offering a maximum of 3 deals. This means that you can have 1 deal, or you could have 3 deals. It doesn't mean everyone will have 3 deals. It has to be available during April to September, and it must be offered to everyone, to all types of tourists. The Cape Town Tourism team will write the content, and they will also make the selection. There's no guarantee that your deals will be used. We also, unfortunately, we can't guarantee that visitors will use your experience or your activity, but we will do everything that we can to support you to ensure that this happens. So really, that's it from my side. We would like to support members to take advantage of this and to get the most value that they can from it. And we look forward to some good news and some good stories as a result of this. Thank you.
Well done, Sika. You found your moment. But this is only the beginning. Come, your freedom awaits.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Lisa. Clearly, I am the thorn amongst the roses today. But firstly, again, good morning from me and my team. Thanks for joining us. As you can see, some exciting stuff, some complex stuff, but I think more importantly, it's about how we connect things that allow for conversion. For a long time, and I think Lee touched on it, is that destination marketing organization boards around the world focus on the pretty pictures. Pretty pictures are wonderful to get your attention, but how do you grab that attention? How do you sustain that attention? And how do you drive it towards business? COVID has forced many of our members to cut their marketing budgets. Right now, you probably have no marketing budget. And I think this is an opportunity for all of us to be able to grab a campaign that is already bought and paid for. That's not going to cost you anything except saying, well, what value add can I bring to the party so that I can also add further value to the overall positioning of Cape Town. But before I do my closing, I think I maybe just want to open up for a bit of Q&A. I'm sure there's lots of questions, some comments from you guys, and between my team and myself, we'll hopefully be able to answer many of them. As Lee had indicated, this is an evolving process. We didn't want to get to launch and then come and show it to you. This is a work in progress. You are part of that work. And we're hoping that, maybe some ideas are going to come from this, or maybe just some comments that we can take forward. So I'm going to open it up. And when you do kind of ask a question or a comment, can you maybe just introduce yourself and which organization you represent, so that we can also start knowing who's who in the zoo here. Thank you. So I've got one hand, got two. I want to get it from this side. This side, you guys all okay? You're happy? You understand? Okay, we'll come back to you. I'll take the first two of here.
Hello, Richard from Gold Restaurant. I just wanted to ask, is Cape Town Tourism going to be encouraging select rates, and how would that apply to this platform? Is that something you are encouraging from your members, or is that rather avoided?
Okay, good question. And then the second one at the back. Yes.
I just wanted to say thank you. I'm absolutely blown away. It's my first time here. I'm a new member, and I'm so excited.
Excellent. Welcome, new member. So the one thing we're not going to prescribe is your pricing model. That is for you to decide as your business. What we are saying is that what additional value do you want to add onto what you're promoting? Cape Town Tourism as a membership organization, we do not get involved in pricing. However, we do recommend that we follow what we call the responsible pricing code that we have as Cape Town Tourism, which is about making sure that you can actually back up about your pricing, that we don't get greedy as industry in a short-term gain that's going to have a long-term knock effect. But the other thing is also you understand your costs, your inputs, and of course making sure that the price is also competitive. That is something that we're going to need to do, because unfortunately the rest of the world is already woken up. The world is traveling. The question is, how do we get them here? And the other thing as well is that some of the research that we've done, where I think Lee touched on it, from an international perspective, the value is not really the issue, it's the safety. And again, when you look at foreign exchange, it allows them to be able to hedge a lot of that yield. But then from a local perspective, which we mustn't forget, domestic saved us. Domestic for the last two saved us. And what we must avoid is to go back to the old habits of saying it's international only. That's all we care about. Because COVID is still with us. There's going to be future shocks and trends that's going to hit us. And what we must do as an industry is make sure that we also look after the locals. And the one thing that locals have said, they've lost jobs. They want to still have some form of sanity and normality with their friends and their family. And affordability is at the top of their list, maybe not safety. So I think it's about you understanding your customer, what the things are that will get them to move, but more importantly to convert. And that means maybe even negotiation after we get them down the funnel. So again, like Lee had said, and Lisa, this is an ongoing program and campaign. It's not a short stop and start. This is about how we can work closer with the industry, through Jenny and the team, through Lisa and the team, of working closer with members to say, how do we evolve this? If this campaign is going to be with us for the next 18 months to 3 years, it's going to be an evolution. And that's the one thing that we need to do. But the difference is we're doing it alongside members. We're not doing it out there in the world and kind of doing fancy campaigns that doesn't allow for conversion. I see Chris, I see your hands. Still no, thank you. There we go. I'll take two oceans, sorry Chris. You'll be the thorn, she'll be the rose. I'll cover that. So, okay, let me just grab that three because the two are linked and then I'll come back to you. That's okay. So Lee, can we maybe just answer the question around the multiple offerings, whether someone is segmented in only one segment, and if it is, how do they go across the others? And then what was the decisions we took for the beginning? And then I think Chris had spoken about other markets. How do we get that? Yeah.
So what we did is we took a whole lot of experiences and we did focus groups in market. And we got them to rank the experiences that would be the biggest draw card to get them into Cape Town or the city. We didn't even say what the city was. So what we do when it comes to a marketing campaign of that size, because we can't show them everything in Cape Town, we get those experiences which rank the highest in terms of getting the awareness of our visitor, and we use those in our marketing material. So it is like X percent. It can't be everyone. It's the ones which they resonate with the most. So that is how we chose those. Because also, if we were targeting a different market, like the older generation or the baby boomers, we would have chosen other experiences based on what they were looking for. So we go through quite an iterative process in what we use in our main marketing campaign. What was the next one?
How do they fit into the other, if they go across all of it? How can they fit into?
Oh, if you go across all the three areas, then submit a value add for all three areas. Yeah. So you can be featured in for all three areas.
And then Chris, to your question around the market. So we are, I think for a long time, DMOs, and we need to be conscious of the fact is that we don't have a lot of money as Cape Town Tourism to go globally. I mean, if you compare what New York did for 1 month, just to say that they're open for business, they spent $6 million. Okay? Cape Town Tourism have rands, and the rands that don't stretch that far. So therefore, we need to be a lot more creative. What we are also doing is we're being very targeted. We don't do the pray and spray, but it's underpinned by intel. And the key thing is we know is that our key source markets still want to come. That is your low-hanging fruit. But what we don't want to do is try and speak to everybody in the UK, Germany, and the US. We've been quite targeted based on the data. And I think, as Leah said, we actually went into blind surveys. We didn't say the destination. We actually asked consumers, what do you want? What are you spending? The data says 4.3 times more travel from affluent millennials than their parents. Unfortunately, their parents are going to be the people that may not come back to the destination. There are, of course, repeat visitors, and we love them, but they may have a house here. So the thing is, they may not do all the touristy stuff that they used to do. What we're looking at is the new consumer, the one that is edgy, the one where we need to be standing out, because the world is shouting right now. And what we need to do is be very, very targeted, which means we're going to have to forego some of the traditional things. Also, when we look at markets like India, Ghana, Africa, the challenge is that we've got other destinations or other DMOs that are already playing in that space. And the one thing we are blessed with as Cape Town is we are the hook in all of their marketing. So if we're going to look at what SAT does, they go into those markets. They use Cape Town as a hook. Why must I go and duplicate and spend taxpayers' money and member money doing the same thing? What we are doing is being very targeted. If Westgrow goes into Germany, they may be speaking to silver surfers, investors, traders. We're saying we're going to speak to affluent millennials. And then what we're going to do is we're going to speak to them in their language. That's what Madiba says. Speak to someone in your language, you speak to their head. Speak to someone in his language, you speak to their heart. And that's what we're trying to do. Draw the connection by getting them to fall in love with Cape Town. And then what we will see is hopefully the lifetime value of that consumer coming time and time again as probably the gamer, then the trader, then the investor, then with their family. And I think when we look at it in that lifetime cycle, why this campaign has so much legs beyond that. Okay. And then the halal, sorry. So again, the halal is there. But what we're not doing is we're not doing big marketing campaigns. We will continue with the messaging, the content, asking member properties to make sure that they are, of course, Muslim friendly, and that's all the Crescent rating is still available. But again, even in that market, there are affluent millennials. So again, this speaks beyond, it's actually going to a deeper, it's creating a tribe. And I think if we think of Black Panther, if you look at what's happening around the world with the cancel culture and all those wonderful things, these are tribes. And what we're doing is we begin to speak to tribes as a tribe. And Cape Town is a tribe. And I think as members, you are part of that tribe. So hopefully that then gives you that clarity. I see at the back, oh yeah, Sorry, again, the roses first, and then I'll come back to you at the back there. Okay. Cool. Thank you. So I will respond to that. Firstly, Mila, welcome. You've been here 18 years. But I think what Mila had done is a good example of standing out from the crowd. You get the opportunity, and then you speak to the audience, you get your message across. And I think that's what we continue to do as Cape Town Tourism. Thank you, Mila. Then to come to your question, as you can see, what we are focusing on is we're not focusing on the accommodation bit of selling the destination. We're talking about the experiences, because the world has focused on experiences. They are tired of being trapped between four walls, no matter where they are, whether they're sitting in a 1-star or a 6-star. It's about how do we communicate with that audience. And I think for a long time we've ignored that audience at our peril. What we're saying is that we're not saying to anybody, stop doing what you do in your marketing. If your market is working, continue with it. Why would you want to do that? But I think what we're saying is that here is a new market that we believe we are speaking to in the right way. We are not going to be doing the Facebook posts because they're not on Facebook. We need to be speaking to them on TikTok. And I think the thing is that it doesn't really matter who's signing the check, as long as they can convince the person who's signing the check, either that them being themselves or their parents or their grandparents, is how they convince them through that. What we want to do is get into this space. We are not in that space at all, because we're still living on Facebook, we're still living in the old traditional mechanisms, and the world has shifted. What we've also found is that no matter what happens around the world, our older generation are a lot more risk averse. The older we get, the more risk averse we become. Whereas these guys don't care whether you've got COVID 10, 20, 30, they will go, and somebody will be signing that check. So I think, like we had said, is that this is not going to be ideal for everyone. But this is what we're trying to do, to say, well, there's a new market, similar to halal Muslim. People said, no, it's not, I'm of no interest to it. But for those that have accepted it, have seen the rewards come their way. It's hard work, it means changing your operating model, how you see things, it's a new customer. But the thing is that our old customers are not coming. There are many reasons why they're not coming. Those that do come have been here multiple times, so I don't need to convince them to come. I'm speaking to those that are not even considering Cape Town. That other, I think we get 0.007% of international travel. That's insignificant. Now, if you think about that, there's still 99.99993% of the world that is not coming to us. And in there are those affluent millennials. So again, we're being quite targeted, which means we are going to make some sacrifice in some areas. But we do believe that as members, you are targeting and marketing to a specific market that we may not be covering. And I think that's the beauty of the offering of Cape Town. We've got everything for everyone at different price points. And this is going to be part of the evolution. If there's maybe the affluent millennials that you may not have targeted because, like you said, they smack you when you try and approach them, maybe this campaign will speak to them in a language that they will understand. And maybe then that's an opportunity for you to maybe look at being part of that conversion funnel at some stage. So hopefully that does assist in providing that. And the data changes all the time. What we've done is in destination marketing research, we've interviewed these people face to face, online, and we've actually asked them, what do you want? What do you need? Where do you want to go to? And I think that is insights that, again, the team shares through our membership comms. There's lots of data that we're sharing more and more, and hopefully it helps you to make informed decisions. And if it's not, then maybe also tell us what we should be asking when we do engage with travel trade, travel media, consumers, because we're also just basing it on what we ask. And I think maybe the magic lies in asking the right question of the right audience. Okay, I'm going to take the last question, and then we're going to round up.
Early to answer on timelines, but the selection will depend on whether you are aligned to what the campaign is asking and the objectives of the campaign, and those 3 USPs, the adventure, the fearless foodie, and the, again, help me please, cultural warrior. Yeah. So if your offer aligns with those 3, then it's more likely that you will be selected. There was a question on the timelines for submission. So if anyone else didn't hear that, we're looking at over the next 2 weeks, but it will be done in phases.
Thanks. And it is an iterative process. As we said, it's an evolution. We came up with a concept based on data and insights of what consumers are telling us they want from a destination. We just happen to be blessed with many of those things. And the opportunity is there, and of course we've gone with airlines. Trust me, airlines don't even want the money we want to give them because they can't commit to the ROI. And what we didn't want to do is just do a campaign for awareness. We need to get conversion. We need to get people here. That's the critical important thing. And this is an iterative process. The guys came up with the concept, the idea to speak to that audience. It's up to you as the members to say, well, I think I can fit in there. Or if I tweak maybe my messaging, I can do that. And again, it's not going to be suitable to everyone. And unfortunately, that's part of it. But it doesn't stop from any of the other work that we are doing, Wesco is doing, South African Tourism is doing. It's about a collective effort in all of our markets at this stage. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just then close out and say thank you to a few people. To Mike, the new owner of Simons, thank you for hosting us. And of course, Dawn, everybody knows Dawn. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you again for the wonderful spread. I'm going to definitely tuck in now. And then, of course, I would like to say thanks to Johan and Chad, the guys with the cameras, the videographers. Thanks again, guys. Please, the close-up, makeup. Please edit my makeup in the shots. And then I think also just to my board, a few of the board members are here. We've got Tracy from CTICC, Alison from Go See Do Media, and of course Deirdre, our chairperson of the Tourism and Marketing Committee. And I need to then, of course, acknowledge Jennifer Maas and her amazing team of membership. Jenny, where are you? In the bleachers, okay. Jenny and the team are absolutely amazing, is that if there's people that really care for members and continue to champion the cause of members when we do stuff and remind us that we're a membership organization, they do that every single day. Even though we get lost in a lot of the craziness of dealing with repatriation of people stuck at airports, through to people being mugged on Table Mountain, those are things we do as Cape Town Tourism that you may not be aware of. In all of that craziness, we still are a membership organization, and the team reminds us every single day, we exist because of our members. We exist because of you. And what I would like to do is just to say thank you to Jenny and the team, but more especially thank you to you, our members. This is a long journey. It's going to require all of us. But one thing that we do understand is that we need to start liberating ourselves in order to find our freedom as the industry. And that time is now. Thank you.
You're a searcher, a seeker. I can tell that just by looking at you. Choose the path of the nature warrior, the urban adventurer, or the fearless foodie. Go now and choose.
And you, South Africa.
Freedom awaits.